The 2023 presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has accused the All Progressive Congress-led federal government of succumbing to ill advice from those he described as enemies of Kano State. Kwankwaso made a remark during the flag-off ceremony for the construction of 82 kilometers rural road networks in his hometown in Madobi by Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf. The accusation follows the ongoing Emirate Tussle, where the federal security agencies have reportedly been supporting the deposed Emir of Kano, Aminu Ado Bayero. Kwankwaso, a former governor of the state, emphasized that the people of Kano would not tolerate any attempts to undermine the state's constituted authority. And to talk about this, I'm joined by the National Publicity Secretary, New Nigeria's People Party, Ladipo Johnson. Good evening. Glad to have you join me.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. Let me kick off by asking you if there is any evidence to support or even refute Kwankwaso's claim that the federal government backed the deposition of the Emir of Bayero.
The deposition, the return, tried to return him, yes. Well, you see, these are things that are out there on the streets. It is known by all. And there are some pointers to it. You cannot blame us for believing that the federal government or some constituted authority have a role to play or have been playing a role. Firstly, you have an order. There was law made by the House of Assembly, and the governor assented to the law. Who allowed or who permitted Ado Bayero, the deposed emir, to come back into Kano under security cover of the military, police, etc.? That's one. Two, you have various incidents where the commissioner of police is going directly against the orders of his chief security officer, who is the governor of the state. Who does the commissioner of police answer to? It's the IG, and the IG answers to the presidency. You understand? Then you look at the cases. Right now, Justice Liman was the one of the Federal High Court Kano that granted some spurious I say, order. The House of Assembly, Speaker, and other defendants are appealing that. They filed a notice of appeal. They didn't file it. They prepared a notice of appeal, tried to file it in court. It was not accepted at the Federal High Court. So they had to go to the Court of Appeal. Filed at the Court of Appeal, the appeal was entered. In law, when we say the appeal is entered, it means that it now has a suit number at the Court of Appeal. This was brought to the notice of Justice Liman. He said, oh, and he should stop. Order 4, Rule 11 of the Court of Appeal Rules, 2021. He should have stopped. But he said, no, I'm still going to go on with the matter. So when you see all these things, and on Thursday, that's 2 days' time, he is going to be ruling, saying that he, most likely saying that the law passed by, the Emirate law passed by the House of Assembly is null and void. Meanwhile, you know you have no jurisdiction on chieftaincy matters. He claimed that his jurisdiction was because fundamental rights of Ado Bayero were touched. So these are the things that are making us look at the whole situation again and say that what is going on.
But now let's narrow down on the federal government.
Yes.
What are the potential implications, for instance, for the federal government being involved in the deposition of the traditional ruler, looking at the balance of power between the federal government and also state governments in Nigeria?
The federal government has nothing whatsoever to do with chieftaincy. Anyone that's read the law or whatever knows that. Plethora of cases. It's the state and in some cases the local governments. So when Sanusi was deposed, he left. They even banished him. This Ganduje of a man banished him, APC national chairman, as former governor. And there was no trouble. They changed the law, the House of Assembly, the governor assented to it, and Sanusi was returned. Why is there all this trouble all of a sudden?
So would you
Why
say...
do we not have...
Just to chip in there, would you say Kwankwaso's claim isn't valid in
It's
this
very
land?
valid. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you can't blame him from saying that. You can't blame Buba Galadima for saying that President Tinubu should watch what he's doing. If he doesn't know what is going on, then it is bad. And if he knows what is going on and he's doing nothing about it, it's even worse. Do you understand? You cannot blame us for what we're saying because the optics are very bad. It is clear to us. Now, you started by asking me for proof. And I say to you, in politics, in the mafia, and in the military, the three are similar. You don't need proof beyond reasonable doubt. When you see these things, you know that only someone in the presidency can allow them, or someone higher up, say, okay, deploy the military.
Now, having said that,
yes,
how might this incident, for instance, affect relationship between the Nigerian government and also traditional rulers in, in Kano State, for instance, the Emir of Kano, both in the short and long term?
No, in the long term, what happens is that all these things, together with the way the economy is and how Nigerians are feeling at the moment, just adds to the woes that this government has. It makes people feel, and the traditional rulers, that this government is inept and is getting involved in things that do not concern it. It should be working on bringing down inflation and doing other things. It's changing national anthem, it's doing irrelevant things. That is what we're saying. And when the trouble begins, no one is threatening. I always say, when the trouble begins, Kano is a volatile state. They now say, oh, it's an NNPP state. We're the leaders. You don't cheat people like that. They know what is going on. They're very savvy, Kano people, politically savvy.
Okay, just to build up on what you hinted on, talking about volatility, what role do political parties play in shaping relationship between the government, traditional institutions in Nigeria, and how does this relate to Kwankwaso's accusations?
What happens is this. Look, political parties, either in government or in opposition, are meant to ensure that constitutionality reigns. Do you understand? We say to our supporters, please obey the rule of law. Follow due court process. You do that. Then you relate with the government, either the government in the center or the government at the state level, and say, look, this, you are now making it political. It isn't political. There was an emirate, over 100 years, single emirate. Some governor came, broke it down, sent Sanusi away, and broke it down into 5 emirates. The people didn't like it. They kept telling us everywhere we went to campaign. It was a campaign promise that we will revert. And we kept that promise. Fine. But then a few of them, unfortunately I have to say, APC supporters, now gathered and started using this emirship thing as a political thing. And we say that it is clear to us, they have denied it, I must say. The presidency has denied it, but we don't believe them. It's clear to us that what they couldn't achieve through the tribunal that was stopped by the Supreme Court in trying to wrest Kano from us, they're trying to do. Because once there's chaos, we have a state of emergency. Let's go to National Assembly. And the president appoints someone.
Well, I wish we had more time, but that's a fine place to wrap up. Thank you so much for your insight on the news. National Publicity Secretary, New Nigeria's People's Party, Ladipo Johnson.
Thanks
Thank you
for
once
having
again.
me. Thank you.